Hello, my sexy lover friends. I'm so excited for this session of What Would Laura Do, where I answer the questions from my community. This one is from inside of our Shattered, which is our free 5-day challenge, which you can DM me Shattered and we will send you the link for that. And it comes from my community, it comes from our DMs, but this is where I take a trauma-informed lens, which is what I am, a trauma-informed relationship specialist, and I answer the questions that sometimes we're too afraid to ask to the general public. I know I felt that way when I was going through a lot of my stuff. It was like I can only talk to my therapist about it, but sometimes I had these questions that just came up that I also didn't feel comfortable talking to my therapist about because I didn't want to talk about it. I just wanted to listen. So we do this here. I like to keep social media social, and you guys have probably heard, got a welcome message from me or my team where we start a conversation, we build relationships. So always feel free to reach out if you have any questions. If you want a question answered, just DM us. We will get you on the list of the questions that we go through every single week, and then make sure that you share this with someone, because this is how we start conversations with people that we care about. This is how we get the word out there. This stuff is free. This helps to build our community, and that's what's really important to us. If you feel called, if something lands for you, right? That's what's most important. And so I'm so excited for today's question. It's all around satisfaction. It's all around, shifting and closing and vulnerability and understanding our subconscious and our protective layers. And we're going to get into that. So if you are new to my world, hi, my name is Laura Patricia Martin. I'm the creator and founder of Healing to Happy. We have courses, consulting, coaching, mentorship, podcast, this page, other pages. It's a whole little world here for women of high achievers. My biggest mission is to help high achievers soften their hearts, because just because we are building these global movements does not mean we have to give up our relationships, or we have to give up our health, or we have to give up that part of ourselves, which often is something that we hear where it's like, well, I either choose my career or I find love. And it's like, we have to have every single thing in life. I was actually just making out with my boyfriend in the office where I was like, how lucky, we get to have everything we want. It just feels so good. And I truly believe we all get to have that. We just have to do the healing work around that to allow that to happen, to step into vulnerability to create these connections, to open our hearts. So if you're looking to even get a glimpse of what we do, because social media is literally like the little toenail of it, coming out, we have, like I said, Shattered. That's 5 days if you're looking for something free. But if you're looking to put 2 feet in, we just opened Sacred Singlehood, which is extraordinary. It's 5 weeks. It's our signature program. It's trauma informed. It's about understanding how to release your trauma from your body, get into it as a high achieving individual, how to do this type of work so you can soften to become the one, to call in the one, or reinvite relationship with the one you already have. It is extraordinary. The reviews are out of this freaking world. Just message me, Sacred Singlehood, and I will send you a link for that. Right now it's 25% off. You also get a bonus module for Boundless Bonita, which is this documentary style program all around healing your body image and the foundations of that. So reach out, jump in. That's going to be 25% off plus the bonus until February 19th. So let's jump into it. The question I have from Shattered is, I get to a point where I can't feel satisfied with what I'm doing, and I turn that into frustration, and I turn into a more harsh version of myself. And I see this in dating, where when they first come in, I'm super bubbly, but as they get closer, something happens and I flip the switch. Tell me you can't relate. I remember so often, this is what I used to do. It's like, I say this often, where it's like there's no shortage of getting dates, right? You just go on your phone, you can get a date. Most of us, if we go out, we can go to a coffee shop. If we're in that kind of arena, getting dates is actually quite easy. Sustaining long-term connection, hard. Being satisfied and staying satisfied, hard. Creating mystery and understanding the different dynamics in relationships to create polarity and tension and build this resistance to actually create closeness takes work, right? So what I told this beautiful soul inside of Shattered was, what is underneath the fear of satisfaction? A lot of times we say, I just want to feel safe. I just want certainty. I want predictability. I want to snuggle up and watch Netflix with my partner and be in our cozies and do this kind of thing. And all of that has a time and a place. But truly, satisfaction kind of freaks a lot of us out. We have this I'm not worthy of it? Or what if I get everything in life that I truly desire and it's gone and it goes away? So I settle for something mediocre. I settle for safe as opposed to extraordinary. This is what we want to break through. This is what we want to witness. And I was telling her, there's this really great practice where you can sit down. And if you have no idea, you're like, I don't know what my fear is protecting me from. Because at the end of the day, that's all our fears are. It's our subconscious programming trying to get in our way, to create us not to tell us not to do the thing that we want to do, to therefore protect us so we do not grow. Because our nervous system loves our comfort zone, loves this safe bubble, loves to keep us in these spaces that we're used to. It loves familiarity, even if consciously you're like, I don't want to be dating these assholes. I don't want to be self-destructing my relationships. I don't want to be eating this shit food. I don't want to be drinking all the time. Your subconscious is like, but this is what we know. We love to keep it. Let's keep it in the chaos. Let's keep it in the unavailability. Let's keep it in avoiding of intimacy. This is fabulous. I feel so good in this. Right? That's our subconscious. And so it's really witnessing this where it's like, shit, okay, so if I understand fear is just a protection mechanisms, what is my fear of satisfaction protecting me from? And you can write that down, right? It'd be like a sentence stem where it's like, my fear of satisfaction is protecting me from ... and just continue writing that until you like run out of complete answers, and then look through it and see what answers come through and pop out at you. And there you have it. Because I remember when this was for me, it was my fear of satisfaction was that I would lose it. My fear of satisfaction was that someone would truly see me, right? Because if I'm satisfied in my relationship, especially after I'm bubbly, and although I'm a very bubbly human being, there are deep, dark parts of myself that instead of sitting with, I've just rejected. And I pretend it doesn't exist. And we do this, especially as high achievers. It's like, I wasn't the best person in my past, or I have these shadows in my closet and I built this new identity and I've done these kind of things, and I don't actually want to look at that anymore because I have this new identity, and this high achiever and this glory of my life feels really good. I'm proud of this version of myself, yet not satisfied, but I'm proud of her. Looking at the shadow, looking at the things I have shame over, looking at the guilt, that seems a little bit too hard. So therefore, when someone ever tries to get close, I'm gonna self-sabotage. And like I said, and like I say often, what society calls self-sabotage, science calls self-protection. That's all it is. And so it's witnessing this in that lens where it's like, oh, there's that kinky little subconscious trying to protect me, create the resistance, create the problems. Looking at this, cool. So what are you trying to protect me from, you kinky little subconscious? How can I start to invite this conversation into it? And it's not shaming it. This thing, this part of you has protected you your whole life. Your whole life. And so instead of looking at it with this shame and this guilt and trying to pretend it's not there, it's looking at it, giving it light, and going, cool. So I'm actually safe where I'm at. I have the tools. Even if I did lose everything, even if you did lose everything, do you truly believe that you are the most valuable resource that you will ever have? I see this with dating all the time because it's often, I see a lot of clients where it's like, I want love so deeply, but I'm too afraid to go all in. I'm too afraid to actually let myself be raptured. I'm too afraid to be fully loved and be all of me and to be vulnerable and to share all parts of myself, because what if they don't like me? What if I get rejected for being all of me? But the truth is, if you're not letting them truly see you, then you're rejecting yourself. And then you get, 10 years into your relationship? That's a long time. You get 10 years into your relationship and you sit there and it's like, they don't really know me and I've built up this false identity and I'm unsatisfied and therefore I'm going to go cheat or explore or do whatever. Like it's so common nowadays because we're not truly ourselves. And so I invite you to that conversation where it's like your protection, this lack of satisfaction, this fear, this part of you. She's real. She's alive. Can you look at her? Can you witness? What are you trying to protect me from? Because that's all she's doing. She's your friend. What are you trying to protect me from? I view this as such as like your older sister, right? At first, or older brother. I had an older brother. It's like your older brother. Like they look after you for so long, and they protect you and they kick out all the boys and You know, they make sure no one touches you or looks at you for too long, and like everything is done and your homework is done and you show up on time and you do these things, and they're hyper vigilant and they're all these kind of things. Like, they're cute. They protected you for so long. And then you get to this point in your life where it's like, actually, I need to go and learn how to walk on my own. I need to go to learn to explore these options for myself. And it's like this detaching. You're still very much connected to that person, right? Like, I'm still very much connected to my older brother. But I don't need his protection. It's fun. Like, it's fun to play with sometimes where it's like there and it's like, get him. Like, that kind of inner child within us. But then you get to an age where it's just like, you're a woman. And you don't necessarily need that form of protection in that way. But you don't get mad at them because you know it's out of love. You know exactly what they've been doing, how the way that they've been protecting you, how the way that they've been showing up and doing this and, you know, weeding out the bad guys and doing the things and, you know, chasing it, like whatever it is, they've done it out of love. And although it might not be getting you the results that you want, right? Like, we kind of get annoyed when they're like clicking out all the boys and you're like, but I really liked him. I really like, it's like, cool. That's your nervous system at work, and you don't get mad at them. You witness it. And so when you're looking at, you know, I get to the point where it's like, I'm bubbly, and then I shut down and I'm not satisfied. And as soon as they get closer to me, something happens. That's the symptom. That's the fear of vulnerability. Look at the symptom to create the result you want. If we're only looking at the symptom and we're not working our way backwards, you know, and this is where I have seen with clients where it's like, I don't know, it's just 3 months in and they just get in a fight and then they leave. I don't know. But if you're seeing a symptom and you're seeing it repeat itself, you're the common denominator. And so looking at, where's your nervous system trying to protect you from? What work can you do on yourself to regulate yourself? And again, this is more than just mindset work. Writing an affirmation on your board of, I'm fully satisfied and I fucking love my life. It's like, that's fine. But there's the resistance within your body. We have to sit with that feeling of uncomfortability, regulate our nervous system around them. This is why trauma isn't healed through the mind, it's healed through the body. This is what sacred singlehood is. And then when it comes to the partnerships, if you're never satisfied in your partnerships, or you're feeling like you're not satisfied in your current partnership, or nothing is ever good enough and no one's ever doing enough and you're always doing and everything is mediocre at best and their presents are okay, like, that's often what I see, because you're trying to use their love as a source for your own. And this is okay in the beginning stages of trauma, right? We do have to borrow other people's loves because we've just kind of been in a mush ball of not being able to do it ourselves. But then it hits this plateau, this part that we start to lean in where it's like, oh, it's not hitting the same. I'm not satisfied. That's your indication light. That's your check engine light of, whew, maybe it's time that I start to go spend some time alone. Maybe it's time that I start to do this like sacred, sovereign work. That doesn't mean I have to leave my partnership, but I do have to start to learn to self-regulate, to create this independence so that you can have some interdependence. And this is when two people have their own lives and they come together, but they don't rely on each other out of codependency and trauma bonding and things that we see very often in this dating world. It's looking at, okay, where can I start to create more satisfaction in my life? I gave the example, like, I have a beautiful moments book at home where it's like, at the end of the day, for that day, what am I celebrating about myself? Because often, like, celebration is the key to satisfaction. But because we feel that that is gluttonous, or we actually have that self-critical brain because we think that's a false sense of motivator, but like, really, how far has that gotten you in your life? You know, it doesn't hit the same at a certain age. It's at a certain level. It's like that inner mean bitch gets you to a certain level, only so far. And when you start to can actually build upon your goals and your dreams and your relationships and your health and your wealth and all the kind of things, when you start to do it from a space of abundance versus lack, celebration versus self-deprecation, it hits so much differently. And it's going to feel foreign as fuck at first, because you are not used to it. Just like investing in yourself, just like getting a mentor, just like getting a program, just like trying new things, like, it's going to feel so foreign because you've never done it before. And that's okay. We get this fear of like, oh my God, I feel like an imposter, so therefore I'm not going to go do it. Of course you feel like an imposter. You've never done it. And so when you're in celebration of self, when you start to reprogram this in your nervous system, you celebrate your partners, you celebrate yourself, you celebrate your friends, you celebrate things in minor, like being appreciative that you made it through the day, being appreciative that you made it through the workday, being appreciative that, you know, your partner did this for you, or you did this for you, or your health is this way, or your business is this way, or something had to happen in your life today. Even if you were just Netflix and chilling, you got the opportunity to Netflix and chill all fucking day. Can you let yourself feel that and continue to try to feel into that daily? Especially for my girlies that are struggling with mental health, this is going to feel foreign as fuck. This was so hard for me. I felt fake. I would see everyone talk about their gratitude lists and all these kind of things, and I was like, kind of in a space of like, fuck the world, so no. But it's that repetition, right? The way that your nervous system works and your brain works is that if you've been in a space of, picture like a jungle. So like a jungle is, you've had this one lane chopped. You've chopped it down for years, for decades. You've been going this one path of, you know, unlovable, unworthiness, rejection wounds, abandonment wounds, all the kind of things, belief systems, false belief systems about yourself, choosing unavailability, being avoidant, being insecure, whatever your attachment is. This is the path that you've been going on. It has been chopped. You are used to complaining. This is it. When you start to go another route in your brain and you take your machete, you don't just chop it once and then you have a whole new path. It's continually revisiting that. Time after time after time. And this is why the body work is so important. This is why you quantum leap when you can do the body work over, like mindset work is important, right? But doing this in conjunction, yeah, that's the word, together with the body work, you can go so much faster. These are things I wish I would have known years ago. At the rate at which my body can transmute triggers and trauma now, and belief systems now, and call in the love of my life now, from when I was just doing studying and very left brain, hyper masculine, overachieving mindset work. Two different worlds, night and day. And that's what we do, right? Like a lot of sacred singlehood is you study and you listen and you hear and we understand what's happening in our body, and a lot of it is feeling. It's both. It's for the modern woman to understand herself, because a lot of us are very in that space. I just want to understand how to be feminine. I just want to understand what the fuck is going on because therapy isn't working. I just want to know. That's that part. And then it's the bridge to get into your body in a safe way, to feel good, to understand what's going on, to feel when the dysregulation happens. And this is how we start to shift. This is how we start to get into celebration. This is how satisfaction comes. It is a good thing. It is a feminine desire to always want more. It is a feminine, delicious desire to have. To always want more. To sit there and go, yes, more please. More orgasms, more grapes, more wine, more stuff, more rest, more money. Thanks. More love. Thank you. Without shame, without guilt. And we have to have one foot in gratitude too. Sometimes we have this belief, it's like, if I become satisfied, will I stop growing? Will I stop wanting more? It's like, no, you won't. Like, it's a feminine desire. It's a human desire to want more. It's a beautiful thing about you. Don't shame that. Don't shut that down. That's beautiful. Awaken it, recognize it, and give gratitude for what you have, for how your partner shows up for you, for the way the sunlight hits, for the kisses in the morning, for the afternoon snuggles, for the way that they try to love you, right? Like, it's not going to be the way that you love yourself, but the way that people can start to love you is by witnessing the way that you love yourself. I shared this over on my page. It's like, oftentimes we're not satisfied because we haven't been doing this for ourselves, and then all of a sudden we're expecting our partner to somehow do this and fill us up. It's like, no, mate, that does not work. Look at your life. Love yourself. Get neutral with yourself. Not even love yourself, just like neutralize things. Figure out what does satisfy you, celebrate these things, and know that that hunger for more is totally fantastic, and it's not going to fucking go anywhere. You're a high achiever. It's not going to go anywhere. Something my mentor said is 1 foot in gratitude, 1 foot in desire. 1 foot in celebration, 1 foot in desire, 1 foot in satisfaction, 1 foot in desire. You know, they go hand in hand. You can have both. It's a both and conversation. It's just witnessing all of these parts. What's the fear of the satisfaction? What's underneath that fear? Truly recognizing that this part of you is so cute. The self-protection part of you is so cute, right? And then witnessing these things, looking at these things, knowing that it's okay to want more, knowing that you're never going to stop wanting more. But can you celebrate a little bit more? And what does that look like to you? So share this with someone this lands on their heart. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm answering these every single week, whether it's on this page or on It's Laura Patricia Martin, which is my personal page. This will be repurposed over on our podcast. We have almost 50 episodes over there, so go hang out. We have the best way for people looking to heal their trauma and their relationships. We have the most extraordinary guests every other week. And then if you're looking to jump in for Sacred Singlehood, we kick off middle of March on that. That is 5 weeks. It might be 6 weeks because we're adding bonus modules, live modules. There's going to be a Voxer group, so you get live coaching with me throughout the week to help support you in that. You get all the trauma, all the support from nutrition. It's a bottom-up approach, so we're going from the body to the mind. It's going to be extraordinary. It's for the modern woman that is looking to soften. It is for anyone that is craving more intimacy in their life to, you know, hold that savage energy, that CEO fucking energy, and a relationship that rocks their freaking socks off. Like, you get to have everything you want. But if this foundation, building that living sanctuary version of yourself, because in our brand we have living, if you think of a triangle, we have living sanctuary, and then the two sides is the bougie savage, and then we have the sacred slut, and then at the top of that triangle is that little inner child that likes to fuck some shit up sometimes. If you don't have the foundation of a living sanctuary, which is sacred singlehood, everything else comes from a dysregulated place. This is the work. This is a work for the high level, high achieving woman. This is for a modern approach. I know when I was going through this work, I would see all this like Amazonian kind of woman and things that were like too feminine for me. This is like bridging that gap from the modern to the mystic and understanding these parts of ourselves in such an applicable way. Plus I'm there each step of the way. So all my bougie ladies that are looking to soften, I got your back. Come reach out. And that right now is 25% off with a bonus module for Boundless Bonita. So you get some juicy little things in there for signing up early. But I love you, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.